Hello everyone and welcome back to Navis Nobilite. I am Captain Zelnick and today we are going to continue our ship overviews with the Tau Hero class starship. Now the Hero is the only real dedicated warship in the Tau fleet of this particular variety. There are a lot of warships in the Commerce Protection fleet, but this one is the only one in the Exploration fleet. It has 180 points. Let's see what you get for it. Well, you get a pretty standard cruiser hull. You have a cruiser with 8 hits, 20 centimeter speed, 45-degree turn, 2 shields, armor of 5 up, though it does have a gravitic prow, which gives it a 6 up front armor unless its prow weapons are disabled, and 3 turrets. So a pretty good spread. Now, what is it equipped with? Well, it has a prow railgun battery at 45 centimeters that are left, front, and right, so pretty weak. A prow gravitic launcher at strength 6 for 20 to 40 centimeters at the front. It actually has launch base for a launch capacity of 2 for barracudas or mantis, and it has a strength 2 port and starboard ion cannon that fires left, front, and front, right. Obviously, as you can see, just like the rest of the Tau fleet, it's heavily focused on the frontal assault, designed ultimately to face an enemy head on in an attempt to destroy them in the first initial wave of attack. And it is particularly weak when you are fighting in a broadside conflict. Now, its railgun battery is something to be desired at only strength 4, but it can fire 4 ion cannons right out the front. It is a solid little cruiser. And while the fluff may argue that it regularly has difficulties going up against even the basic lunar cruiser, this thing regularly comes out on top simply because it has so many different options and such a great array of front-facing firepower. The downside of this is where the lunar is at its strongest, this vessel is at its weakest. If the lunar ever gets in the side arc or the rear arc of a hero, the hero is at a massive disadvantage. So it is really up to the hero to maintain its position in the front of the enemy, making sure that the enemy can't use their more powerful broadside capacity. Also, the hero is particularly weak against boarding actions. It, like all other exploration fleet, it halves its boarding value in a boarding action. It's not a good time to be boarded when you are Tau exploration fleet. Now, there is a second version of this, the Toku configuration. It has the same stat line, 8-hit cruiser, 20 centimeter speed, 45-degree turn, 2 shields, armor 5 up, and 3 turrets. It has the same prow railgun battery, and the same prow gravitic launcher, and the same launch base. But instead of having ion cannons, it has 45 centimeter, strength 4, port and starboard railguns, giving it, instead of a strength 4, the prow firepower increases all the way up to a strength 12. And it's the only way you can get better than a strength 6 weapons battery on any vessel in the Tau fleet. This is basically your dedicated anti-Eldar vessel. And both of these vessels are particularly good at their job. The Toku is much better if you have a messenger escort with it. Now, again, all hero vessels are fitted with a prow deflector that increases the front armor to 6. If disabled, it is disabled if the ship suffers a prow critical hit. So, ultimately, this vessel is designed to be a dedicated anti-capital ship vessel, and it's very good at its job. Those prow-facing strength 4 total ion cannons are a really good surgeon's knife to cut apart enemy cruisers and larger. The gravitic launchers are very, very good at their job for whittling down and causing significant damage to enemy ships of all sizes, and the fact that it has the capacity to protect itself from incoming enemy ordnance is a huge benefit. Now, again, I must stress this. This thing is particularly weak against hit and run attacks, which means large squadrons of assault boats are going to really ruin its day. You have to remember that if it's boarded, it's going to die. It's not likely going to win any boarding action. Now, this particular variant is very handy against Space Marine strike cruisers just because of the sheer number of ion cannons that it has, but the Toku version is virtually useless against Space Marines. So be aware. The Toku is a specialist vessel. It is not necessarily designed for every threat, but you do at least have a decent anti-Eldar option. So, The Hero, it is a fantastic vessel. It is a very good vessel, and many would argue that it's underpointed for the incredible amount of front-facing firepower that it has. However, another thing to remember, these vessels are limited in your fleet. You can only take one for every messenger, oh, sorry, not messenger, merchant, or one for every explorer. So you're not going to just have a fleet of these things squatting down on your enemy and having a fun time, shitting all over their day. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all again in the next video.